I'm Chef Mike Moses and welcome to my kitchen. Today we are going to use my Stargazer cast iron pan and make the perfect medium rare steak. And I've got all the details coming up. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more, please subscribe. I put new videos right here on this channel every weekend. The Stargazer, I've been using this pan now for just over 8 months, and I've come to love it. This is a very nice frying pan. This is not a paid endorsement. This is not a sponsored video. This is my impression of the Stargazer after using it, and what better way to do it than with a steak. I've got a steak here, some garlic, I'm going to use a sprig of rosemary, some butter, and we'll make the perfect medium rare steak. One thing you're going to need is a probe thermometer. It's very important because you need to watch your temperatures. About 135 degrees is a nice medium rare, but we're going to cook it in the oven first on a high oven, probably for about 10 minutes. Bring the temperature up to about 115. From there, we'll put a beautiful sear on it, baste it with some butter, and serve you a steak that you'll love. First thing we have to do is get our steak up to temperature. And what I mean by up to temperature is let it sit in the air, room temperature, probably for about an hour, so that you're not putting a very cold steak into a hot medium. We also want to season up our steak, and we'll give it a nice liberal sprinkling of salt, and of course, some pepper. Go all the way down the sides. Make sure there's nice pepper, and any of the salt that's left on the plate, get it on the fat and on the other end. Now, this is not an expensive ribeye or anything. It's just a simple strip loin, and it is probably about 1.5 inches thick. Our internal temperature that we're looking for before we go to the frying pan is about 150. Okay, it's been about an hour. The steak has come up to room temperature, and now I've started my oven. I'm going to preheat the oven to 500 degrees. I'm actually going to put my seasoned steak on a rack like that and pop that in a 500 degree oven 10 minutes. I want the internal temperature to be 115 degrees. I can't stress that enough because when we put it in the frying pan to sear it off, the temperature is going to rise even more. So let's go to the oven. All right, so the steak goes into the oven, 500 degree oven for 10 minutes. So while the steak is in the oven for the 10 minutes, we're going to heat up our frying pan. Now remember, with a cast iron frying pan, you don't want to heat it up right to high and away you go. So we're going to turn it up to medium first. Let that come up to temperature, and then we'll turn it up to the high that we need. All right, so the steak is at 110 degrees internally, and you'll notice that some of the fat has already started to crisp up. Now, the fun part, we're going to flavor the steak. We've already seasoned it. So in our pan, which is on medium high, it's about 428 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm going to add just about a teaspoon of grapeseed oil. Get it all around there. And I'm going to put my steak right in the oil. I'm not going to touch it. I want that nice crisp. A little bit of smoke is okay, a lot is not. So you just want to have a little bit of smoke on that. As you can hear the frying. I'm going to take a clove of crushed up garlic, sprig of rosemary, and a nice big dollop of butter. Throw that in my pan. And with the rosemary and the butter and everything, it smells just divine. It smells great. The garlic will flavor the butter. And we'll wait till the butter gets all the way melted. In about 45 seconds on the heat, we're going to take our steak, flip it over. And you can see we have a nice, gorgeous crusting on that. And now I'm going to start to baste. I'm going to baste with butter. The rosemary, love to see the foam. Rosemary all throughout the butter there. The garlic. These will be disposable herbs. We're not going to use those again. A little more butter. And don't throw away your pan that you put it in the oven. This is what you're going to let it rest on. Gorgeous. We do the fat side. Give the fat a little more rendering. Okay, so now we're going to let it rest. Right there. And while it's resting, you can also pour the butter over it. This steak is going to rest for a minimum of 5 minutes, maybe even 6. We want an internal temperature of about 135 for medium rare. So as soon as the 5 minutes are up, we'll go to the plate and see how we do. This is all about the steak. Layer down on the plate. Grab a knife or fork, and we want to see how we did. So we're going to cut right in the middle. And you can see it just falls apart, and look at that. A perfect medium rare steak. Gorgeous. Nice and tender. Done right to temperature. For your frying pan, when it's time to clean up, you want your frying pan to cool down completely before you do any cleanup. That way you preserve the seasoning. It doesn't take a lot to re-season, and then you can put it away. So there, a perfect medium rare steak done in reverse. Thanks to a friend of mine for that suggestion and how he did it. I tested it out the other day, and it actually worked very good. A medium rare steak, perfectly done, just for you. For more information on this recipe and more, head over to my website, www.chefmikemoses.com. You'll find I have a blog running there with the recipes that you can print off. I hope you enjoy this. I'm here to help you cook better, shop smarter, and eat healthier.